I'm all sorts of things. Oh. We're live.
Wake up the system, light up the mind. We're chasing the edges they say not to find. Flow like a river, fierce and precise. Lollydabbing through limits, no need to think twice. No cheat code, no shortcut plan, just grit and grace and a mic in our hand. Keri and Richard, pushing past norms, dancing with dopamine, writing brainstorms. This is the art of impossible. Fueling the spark, making the improbable unstoppable. Drop into flow, where the wild things grow. Welcome to the edge of control. Lollydabbing the impossible. Curiosity's compass, purpose is fuel. Hard goals and habits, breaking old rules. Risk it, own it, bend what you know. This is the lab where peak minds grow. No easy win, no magic cue, just science and soul and something true. We're not just talking, we're breaking the mold. Lollydabbing with stories bold. This is the art of impossible. Fueling the spark, making the improbable unstoppable. Drop into flow, where the wild things grow. Welcome to the edge of control, with Keri and Richard in tow. It starts with passion, moves with grit. Stack those triggers, then commit. You're not broken, you're built to fly. So lollydab loud, reach for the sky. This is the art of impossible. Fueling the spark, making the improbable unstoppable. Drop into flow, let your mission grow. Keri and Richard know we're lollydabbing the impossible.
Floating brain.
It's a brainstorm.
Hello, Robbie. Welcome. Anybody else out there lurking? Welcome to you too. We love our
Beaver
lurkers.
power. Welcome, Robbie. My dog has decided. Oh, guess what? They're live. My sister's not here, so we won't be barking, but we will be squeaking. A squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. Richard.
That's all right. That's all right.
Richard, you have been living. You're also ringing, or no, alarming. That's your alarm. Guess what?
No, it was my Ring doorbell, but it was just because somebody walked in front. Anyway, I am an amazing human being, or
Yes.
something. I don't know.
Actually, what I was gonna get at is you've been building on your passion recipe.
I have been.
You've been building on it. What are the features of writing this down?
Well,
And
it
to,
makes
like,
it
kind of
easier to
grinding
go
through
back. It makes it easier to remember what you thought about, what you were thinking about, where you tried to make a connection. Because I write everything down. The paper's a mess. It scribbles and cross-offs and arrows pointing to other places. It looks like a murder map. It really does.
I love it. Murder maps are one of my favorites. I literally have a wall in my craft room that is a murder map of things.
Yep.
things that I want to pursue, if you will. Things I am passionate about. But I think just like, what is the benefits of like consciously doing this practice? What we're doing through the book, what we did with the previous book, like what are the features and the advantages and the benefits? If you could just
Well,
give me like the little sales pitch
little
on what
sales
it means
pitch.
on what it means to like really embody these things and to
Well,
do it and
I
think
don't
about
I
it.
don't know all of the answer to that yet, but I do know that it involves really just a lot of internal thinking. You got to leave your ego at the door. That ego doesn't fit in here. Not pride, pride in yourself, wanting to do those things, yes, but not an ego, not a sense of I'm better than. That doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
The advantage, boy, there's a lot of advantages. There's so many paths that you didn't know existed before that you find exist just by looking. It's you're looking for, okay, what else can I do to save money? I'm just going to use this as an example. What else can I do to save money? Well, that's a pretty broad statement. Then I have to look at my bills individually and I have to assess, is that something I need to pay for? Is that subscription something I need? And this sort of thing. And it just leads me down this, and I'm not even writing this stuff down. These value things and this intrinsic stackers and putting goals with things. And that's just a journey of.
How do you think they fuse together? This idea of understanding, because we covered the 7.5 lessons about your brain. And now we're kind of going into this meaty topic of like goal setting and living your everyday with purpose is like the cliff notes of this book, right? Is how do you do impossible things by living every day with purpose, right? And how do you make that matter to something like your budget? What are the things that kind of tie that together for you?
Boy, probably the biggest thing is I want to call it self-improvement, but that's a cop-out answer because it's really not just improvement. It's
I was going to say, I want to think that we're doing more than self-help here.
It's a growing, it's a stretching, it's a changing. It's this process, these books, this stuff, all the words that I don't want to remember for the neuroscience stuff, all stacks up to give you a new perspective when you start investigating. You don't have to learn the science stuff, but if you start looking at what these people are talking about, and you look at her talking about our brains are not for thinking. Well, Stephen Kotler doesn't disagree with that. What he's doing is telling you to fill your brain up with things that you like, things that give you pleasure, things that you want, things that are here, things that are in the future. And then
things that drive you forward.
Yeah, things that drive you forward. So yeah, your brain's not for thinking. It's for surviving, because doing these things just makes you survive at a higher level. I don't know how to say that another way.
Well, let's take it back to the simplicity of your budget list.
Well,
when you're prioritizing that budget list, the things that you are willing to put money towards, and we all are going to agree that we have to put money towards the things that we have to put money towards, right?
Absolutely. You got to have
at the same time,
have your basics, right?
When you're looking at those basics, do they take on new meaning for you? Because they have with me, and so that's why I'm like trying to.
Yeah, I would say so.
A little.
I was pretty arrogant, and here's the ego part that I was talking about. I was pretty arrogant. I consume a lot of YouTube. I personally consume a lot of YouTube. It literally is where I get most of my entertainment and interests from. Yes. I have access to Hulu. I have access to YouTube TV. I have access to Netflix and all these shows. But where I spend my time is content creators on YouTube. So arrogantly, I justified spending whatever it is, $13.99 a month, to have the ad-free. I need that. I have to have that. No, I don't. No, I don't.
I have a wireless mouse. I take it over to my little bed over there, and I can kind of see the mouse, and I can hit skip ad.
I had
If I really want to.
signed up for my internet through T-Mobile. It's great internet. It was their 5G service. I had zero problems with it, but it was $45 a month. Comcast is the same speeds, the same kind of service, just a different company, and it was $15 a month. I didn't give up anything, but it saved $30 a month.
Right. Because you had to like wrap your brain around another like payment to keep track of.
Right. And then with YouTube, it was just the opposite. I can consume this content and let the commercials run. Most of them you can skip after about 5 or 6 seconds. There's very few that are longer than that before the skip button comes up. And in spite of myself, I have found a few things through those advertisements that I am actually interested in.
I don't hate.
That I don't hate. So that just being honest. So that's part of the journey as well. These things, I don't know if it's an intrinsic, but they stack. And as they stack, things change and things improve. And my budget gets better. Like right now, I'm just about at a break-even point. And next month, when I change my insurance, finally, that's been a project trying to get the organization for that to happen. So this next month in June, I should be changing my insurance, and that should probably save me at least $130 a month. If that's true, if my basic stuff is true that I'm thinking about that now, then I have gotten my budget to a positive. No.
Bro, listen. You are living up to your credence, which is live intentionally, okay? And I think that sometimes when we're in situations where we're in default mode, we do the things that are easy, right? The internet through the phone company, one bill makes it easier.
Yep.
It's the idea that you are putting your brain power towards something that really matters. And I want to point out too, like what are you unintentionally learning by having all that intention?
I don't even know the answer to that yet. More than I realize right now, I can tell you that. Because I discover different things every day.
You can live alone, and that's, like, okay, and I like this, and I want to continue to do this, because it gives me this space. I mean, we could, okay, so, like, I know we're trying to be kind of sciencey with this book, but, okay, let's just take a minute into the woo-woo. I should have, like, a woo-woo sign or something.
You should have a woo-woo sound, yes.
Like if I had a soundboard, it'd go ding, 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 or something like that. Keri's little brain trip into the woo-woo. Because my daughter isn't here right now, and my daughter's dog isn't here right now, and I can feel the vibrational difference. And it's not that her dog or her, in and of themselves, are a problem. And I'm not saying I'm better, but the vibration in my home is different with just me and my dog. It's so funny. And so, like, the things that I can think about, and the things that enter into my brain space, and the things that I have energy for, and like, I think I walked in a circle around my apartment for like 45 minutes today. Just thinking. Because of all the things that like are not influencing my aura. I'm not gonna lie.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
So there's definitely like a little bit of that. So and then so when you have like this auric brain space, and then you put this intention towards it, and you're stretching your brain in new ways in your non-budget making time, it actually makes your budget making different. So your day-to-day actual survival needs change because of where you're spending your so-called off time with your brain. And to me, that's the big advantage of actually wondering to yourself, well, I don't need to write down what my goals are. But, like, if I was to write it down, what would that look like?
Need,
right?
Operative word. Need, yeah.
Need. Nobody needs to do that. Needs to live their purpose. Nobody needs to live their passion. Nobody needs to make a massively transformative purpose that changes the world. Nobody needs to do that. Nobody needs to. Nobody needs to.
But many should.
But the beauty lies in this experiment of, but what if I did? What if I could?
Yes.
What if I just want to try? Mm-hmm. In those
That's this
10 minutes a
apartment
day.
for me. That's this apartment for me. What if I just try? The opportunity came up and I jumped, and I still owe people money that I have to pay back to them. I still need to find a job to make up that difference to do that. And none of those things have changed. But I am now living within my means independently, whereas before I was living within my means but overspending on everything because I didn't have to pay attention to where I was spending.
And let's just point out the value in having friends
Hello,
and
Donna.
people to take care of you.
Oh, yeah.
When you have your mind set on something, they believe in you enough to invest in your well-being. I can say the same. I have somebody who has massively invested in my well-being. There's times where I have felt so down on myself, like, oh, I'm such a loser. I owe my boyfriend so much money. But if I stayed in that place of I'm not worthy, and I didn't switch to this place of I am worthy enough for him to want to invest in me and help take care of me.
Right.
That matters. That is a resource that not everybody has. Like, that's a resource that Keri has because Keri is who she is. You have the resources because you are who you are. And I think we all need to remember, regardless of what we had to do to get to this breath right now, in this moment of presence, we are worthy. And so therefore, we are worthy of changing the world in our way.
I think so. And
therefore, there is, we can be woo-woo about it, but the fact of the matter is the concept, the precept behind this book is that personality doesn't scale. It's not our personalities. If we want to take what these gifts have given us and we want to scale it and we want to return favors and we want to pay it forward, it's our biology that scales. It's our neuroscience. It's our neurochemicals. It's taking these little steps.
Funny, Allie.
It's taking these little steps. It's writing the things down. It's doing the things. It's entertaining the idea. What are 15 things that we want to see different about this world? And what are the things that I am just curious about in my spare time that could change those things?
Yep.
What are those? As a worthy, living, breathing human being in this moment.
Last week I had
what
nothing.
What are those things?
Impacting homeless animals, human homelessness, and local hunger. So last week I had nothing. Now I have 4, plus animal homelessness thing is kind of broken into spay and neuter resources for people, cat and animal fostering that I'm doing already, and other things I could do. Because what I was trying to do is I thought of things that were under there. I tried to put them stuff below them so I could try and look for the connections.
Yeah, and you have this massively transformative goal, and you're already, see, you said you didn't listen to the goal chapter, but I want to say, by breaking those things down the way that you're actually kind of setting those high, hard goals. If you were to like tack a number on that, I want to foster 27 cats this year. That is a high, hard goal. That seems kind of impossible right now, right?
Sure.
Like you're like, whoa, I've only done the 2. That seems like a lot. I don't know how much difference that'll make. All these things, right? But you set that number, which is your high, hard goal. It seems hard. It seems lofty.
Thank you, Allie.
Oh, and there she is. See, we're what? 18 minutes in before she started
18 minutes in. That's not too bad.
That's not bad.
And thank you, Robbie. I appreciate your comments. Apply them to you. Oh, did I say that in my outside voice? Sorry, sorry.
That was your
Love
outside voice. I'm going to mute for a second. We had some people show up in the chat. Would you mind running through those people and saying hello?
No, that's all right. I mean, Dimebag dropped off some love, and we appreciate that. Of course, Robbie Stingle's been here since the very beginning because Robbie Stingle's the number one. And we've got Tia Nana's that was hanging out there. I hope she still is because she's a nice lady. I recorded the song again today just as a piece of information for you, Donna. And the timing was better. But I said she where I should have said he, and said it was, so yeah, I still got to re-record it. But I am working on it. I work on it every day. And then Allie Patches is out there liking and sharing. And I don't know what she was doing there earlier, but it looked pretty scary. She said something about being not worthy, and then she was worthy. And I don't know why she's so confused. She seems like such a nice young lady.
I'm not worthy. Yeah, right. Oh, I am excited to see Allie out there in the chat. I know that she said she did that thing. What was that thing? Set a notification bell. I hear that's a thing. People can do it. If that's something you want to do, feel free.
Hey, I'm not going to lie. I set the notification bell for this show myself. There you go.
Not gonna lie, I literally don't set any notifications for anything because I
you have a mind like a steel trap. And you never forget anything.
And I don't like my phone to tell me what to do.
Oh, okay. All right. There is that.
The next book we're gonna read is Nir Eyal's Hooked. I think I say that about like 8 books per episode. I've got so many.
Well, that's cool. I've got 2 credits. I had to cancel that membership for now, but I'll start it back up again when I can afford it. But I still got 2 credits that I'm going to hold for Indy. Welcome. Good to see you out there.
Here, yeah.
So I'm going to hold those for whatever I need to get in the future, or if I happen to find something on my own. God forbid I look for self-help book, but
I won't let you.
I'm not throwing it out. I'm not throwing it out. I'm
Listen,
just saying.
whatever moves you. If there is something that is in your curiosity list or in your 15 things you want to see around the world, changed around the world list, I highly encourage you to use one of those credits for that, because that is part of this process. Part of this process is educating yourself.
There's still a lot of this book to get through. It's not
so much.
We're on chapter 4 of
y'all.
Yeah.
Don't look ahead. Just know that I have scheduled us for the Art of Impossible for the rest of June.
I'm having fun with the process. I hope other people are too, and I encourage other people to try this like I have. It's not, oh man.
It's not just goal setting.
It's not
just goal setting. It's like this whole mindset
the way you live.
Shift. Right.
It will change the way you live. It is the think and therefore live. Yes. Yeah, think and therefore live.
Once you know how you can't like unsee things, you can't unhear things, you can't undo the process of like writing your shit down. Mm-hmm. And by your shit, I mean, what are you curious about outside of your everyday thing?
Even if it's shit, you can be curious about shit. Some people are.
Some people are. Otherwise, we wouldn't have things like
proctologists,
right? Or what, sewage treatment plants.
There you go.
I don't know.
Or pooper scoopers for your yard. I mean, think of how different the world would be without pooper scoopers for the yard.
They all started with a thought. And I know that these people out here in this chat have amazing brains. Because why? Because we all have amazing brains. We all have amazing brains. We all have things, whether we want to consciously admit it to ourselves or not. We all have things that we want to see happen in this world. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Even when you're sitting around, what I decided to do was listen to myself. If that makes any sense at all, because I sit and bitch and complain, get my sarcasm on and my satire, and I do this and that and the other thing. I started listening to that. What do I complain about? Just in day-to-day life. People that don't use a blinky sticks. Well, I could probably stack some intrinsic values about trying to educate people of the value of using a blinky stick. In my sarcastic way. But it just builds on. If you start with something, it will build into something else. But if you don't start, it won't. Everything will stay the same.
You know what blinkers are?
I didn't start.
Blinkers are how your car talks to other cars. That's how your car talks to other cars. Period. Yeah. You want people to know where you're going so that they let you in? Blinker. It's a blinker. You want people to understand your intentions in your vehicle? It's your blinker. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is. It is. It is. It is. So there's my blinker tirade. I got pulled over for not using my blinker, and I said, "Officer, I don't think that's possible because I love my blinker. I love my blinker. And if I didn't use my blinker, it was literally a one-time thing. Like you caught me on an off moment. Not even an off day, an off moment." He had words. We had words. I had to pay the ticket. It's whatever.
Yeah, well, it's usually the way it works out with
Nobody
cops
is
and tickets.
perfect. Nobody is perfect. And I decided not to fight the battle. I live to fight another day.
There you go.
Mostly. Okay,
Well,
so
and usually those tickets don't affect your insurance rates anyway, so.
it was the principle of the fact that I was like, I love my blinker. I love my blinker. I almost
I'm pretty
went to the
married to
court
mine,
thing.
too.
Anyway, blinkers aside. Blinkers aside. We are not here for
We
traffic.
talk about blinkers.
We're not. But if we want to make a nice little segue here, signaling to the universe what it is that you are interested in starts with you, right? How do you do that? You write that shit down. You write that shit. I cannot say it enough. Write that shit down.
No one uses blinkers.
Write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down. Write it down. 25 things, 15 things, 105 things. Doesn't matter. Take your pencil, put it to the paper,
Fuck
and be
if
like,
it's one. I don't
what
care.
are things I'm curious about? And then you look at like, well, maybe more than one, because as we learned about the passion recipe is when we can find intersecting curiosities, or when we look at our list of curiosities and we're like, how can we make them intersect?
Mm-hmm.
That is just a little bit more neurochemistry in your favor to motivate you to do the things in your off time. Instead of winding down, watching reruns of 90s TV, which I've been known to do, or listen to a bunch of true crime, also something that I've been known to do.
Guilty.
And I spend that time playing in my intersections of my curiosities, or playing in my curiosities, looking for intersections via podcasts, via YouTube videos, via court documents, whatever it is, okay? All the things. Just 15 minutes. And then you like spend another 15 minutes. And then you're like, oh, look, my love of finding a cure for pet homelessness has intersected with like my need to care for something, which also motivates me and drives me forward and like helps me emotionally to do the next thing, whatever the next thing is. You keep nudging yourself along, and all of a sudden living isn't just existing anymore.
No, and I have a testament to that. That is, I believe, pertinent to what we're talking about. So I started doing this book stuff. Then I started doing not thinking and looking at me stuff. Then I started doing budget stuff. Then I started doing cat stuff. Each one of these things I'm talking about is something I've added to my life in the last 4 months. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm taking my meds more regularly, day and night, staying more on top of my problems and issues and things that are happening, instead of just hoping it'll go away or somebody else will fix it. So that's why I said write down one thing. If you don't have 15, okay, write down one. If you don't have 25, write down one. If you have an inkling of a thought, write down that, even if it's not a goal, because it might turn into one. Maybe you'll see something else or think of something else. So the writing it down thing makes a big difference. Since I started doing that, that's when bigger changes started happening in my life.
And that's why we call it the passion recipe and we call it curiosities.
Mm-hmm.
Because these are not the goals. These are wonderments, interests, whatever.
Right.
You know, we got Indy, who is in the chat, and she is very, very passionate and drives some pretty difficult conversations.
Yes.
And there are things that I know inspire her to want to change things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and we also have Robbie in the chat, who, by the way, mentioned that something about wildcats. Ah, here it is.
See, he's doing it too. He just won't admit it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There are some fed cats in this world because of Robbie Stingle.
Because of Robbie Stingle.
Because of Robbie Stingle. He feeds some outdoor cats. And those are happy kitties. Okay, so we're all important. We're all important. We're all important.
And even when you don't think you didn't do anything, you probably did something.
Yes. So we've talked about combining curiosities. We're looking for patterns that excite us and things that frustrate us. And how can we get them to mush together? Right? And then I love this statement. Passion isn't just intellectual. It hits you in the gut. So you play around with like these intellectual things. I wonder this, maybe that. I'm really into figuring out, audiovisual stuff. But like, maybe you can make something that, I don't know, tells people how to use their blinker in a funny way, and you end up getting 3 people to use their blinkers more who wouldn't normally use their blinkers, and you avert more car accidents than you know. Why? Because they don't happen. I'm just saying, these things are real.
Yep.
These things are real. And we do it because it's fun.
And sometimes we don't know we did it.
We don't know we did it. So like everybody can change the world in a way. And I'm not just like hyperbole with that. It's not just.
I'm not either. I am a firm believer. If I
change this world.
If I walk through a stream, I moved rocks and changed water direction for just a moment, and that, in time, changes the course of that river. Every rock movement, everything that happens to that river changes the course of the river over time.
Yes.
And I think that's another thing to drive home in this. He's very clear, especially in this chapter that we've been working on. This is not a fast process.
No.
There are moments in it that will be feeling fast, but it's not.
You get hit with an epiphany and you jump in, right? Yes. Yeah, curiosity really is the gateway drug to passion, which is one of the reasons why curiosity is my handle everywhere all the time. Because I am the gateway drug to your passion. I'm the gateway drug to my own passion. I hope that I can tickle somebody's fancy in a way that they are able to find their own passion.
There we go. You should grab that link and share it. That's cute.
Is it this one?
That's
the mama
kitty.
cat?
Yeah, it's eaten today. That's cool. So that's current. That's neat. It's very cute. Very cute.
So
I recommend.
What is passion? So passion is formed by feeding and combining curiosities. It needs time and effort. It's not instant. It needs consistency. But you found that when you do something silly like writing a list about what you're curious about consistently, it's done other things to your health consistency and some of your other things that maybe was kind of a struggle for you. But because you are feeding this curiosity, which is feeding a passion, and you're starting to combine that passion with a cause that is bigger than yourself, then it starts to drive behavior beyond self-interest. And it is intrinsic to humans. In order to drive behavior beyond self-interest, you've got to take care of self. And that just happened. That just happened. Or is happening.
Is happening is there's other things I can do that I'm thinking about putting on a list of stuff and things. It's like I'm letting it be a process.
Process.
I'm not trying to. Well, I could finish this tomorrow. There we go. Okay, I did that. I wrote the list. Now it's done. You know, I heard a fact. That's not how I'm approaching this.
People who write a to-do list just before they go to sleep enjoy 9 more minutes of deep, healing,
REM sleep,
good sleep. Yep,
nice,
really good sleep.
Nice.
9 more minutes. Do you know how? I mean, we might try to sleep for 8 hours, but how much of that is really good REM sleep? Very little. So
my bladder gets me up at least 3 times a night. So
right, but your psyche is so much more fulfilled when you're like, first do your little gratitude. I'm so grateful that I took care of this, and this today. I'm so grateful for that today. And then tomorrow I'm going to do this, and this and go to bed. It helps. That one was for you, Indy. I heard you've been having some trouble sleeping. Anyway, so then you combine your passion with a cause that's bigger than yourself, and it starts to drive your behavior beyond your self-interest, and then you come up with a massively transformative purpose. And that is a bold, audacious, world-changing mission. That is not just a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That is your North Star. For example, make education accessible to every child on Earth. To every child on Earth. Okay?
Yep.
And that's going to drive your things forward. It attracts collaborators and it sustains your drive for decades. Okay? So you're like, hey, Richard, why are you making a budget? Because I want to be able to help homeless animals everywhere. What? Well, by making this budget, it made it possible for me to foster 2 cats. And those 2 cats led to 37 cats that I've done this year. And
right.
Have you ever thought of adopting a cat?
Or
These
fostering.
things happen. These things happen. Like,
Yep.
Keri, what are you passionate about? Well, I'm really passionate about people knowing what they harness within their skin to be able to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Richard. Let's have a late night chat, sing some karaoke, see where it goes from there. And
Right.
this is where it is. We are how many? I don't even know. We're so many episodes in. We're doing things.
It doesn't. I'm not keeping count. I
can't. I should. I probably should
yeah.
look, but I'm not going to go back and look because I'm on a roll. Okay, but this is my point. This is my point. I have been showing up for karaoke for a couple of years before I met Richard, before I did the thing with Chad, and like all of these things have been feeding into this thing that I want to do, which is talking to people about being able to change their immediate circumstances and how they feel about them by taking simple steps to think differently about those circumstances.
Not just think. That thinking will lead to action. You'll see things that I don't know how I could not want to take care of some of these things that I'm noticing and seeing as I'm going through on these types of things. And like I said, these cats probably have a home. They're going to meet the potential new owner who's just about cleared with flying colors for everything. And they're all but adopted. She's going to come over and meet them, and we'll see how they react and that sort of thing. And then there'll be a visit to her house a couple of days later, and they'll probably stay the night. I'll take them over in the carrier with food and that sort of thing. She'll see how they get along. And I was wondering, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to be kind of bored. This is going to help me with my scheduling and with my thinking and doing my 9 or 10 or 15 minutes a day or whatever you devote to your list, your stuff, your things that you find on here that you're looking on YouTube for or you're reading a book about to improve yourself on. And this morning I got a call from the director saying they already have another cat because someone is got problems, family problems, health problems with the father or something, and they're not going to be able to continue fostering for the remainder of this cat. So I'm going to immediately have another cat as soon as these are gone. So that was a fleeting thought on my radar about, I'm going to have to find something else. No, I'm not, because I'm still going to have a cat box to clean. I'm still going to have a cat to feed. I'm still going to have water to check and all the things to do that help me keep on the new schedule that I have made because of all the things that I've done. It's not just the cats. It's the budget change. It's the being healthier. It's the intrinsics of, yes, I'm doing something good for the world by, helping cats find homes that would have died in a marsh. It's that kind of thing. But that started from things that had nothing to do with any of those. Right.
And what you've really done is you have sealed in one of the amazing things about, we say self-improvement. I would say self-expansion. Can we call it self-expansion?
Yeah, we could call it self-expansion because I don't necessarily think it's improving parts of my life, but it's not necessarily improving me. So self-improvement doesn't fit. Expanding. Yes.
Yeah, because
I like self-expansion.
Self-improvement feels like a step that you have like step. And self-expansion kind of feels like you're just getting stretched and pulled in ways.
I'm getting on it everywhere. Oh yeah. It's when I sit around the house, I sit around the house. That kind of funny stuff. But yeah, exactly. I think that's a much better expression.
Self-expansion. All right. So we're now a self-expansion channel, and we have lost all of our listeners because we have declared ourselves such. No, I'm just
no, okay. Robbie's still out there.
Hi, Robbie. I love you. So much love.
There's
much love to you.
Moonshadow. That was Moonshadow. You just see your back paw right there. It's cute.
All of this self-expansion, it really starts to open up like autonomy. You start to believe that you have the freedom to pursue your path. Because I think that we all try to fight for the freedom to pursue our own path, but then we feel like there's all these obstacles in our way, like money, like time. Both concepts, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Both games that can be played. Finite games.
Oh, yeah.
But games nonetheless.
Yeah.
Just a game.
Money is relative. Somebody else's paper as far as I'm concerned.
Right. So once you understand that the things that we think constrain us don't really constrain our minds or our ability to write shit down on a piece of paper, we realize that we have freedom. We have freedom to pursue our own path regardless of what is happening around us in our external circumstances, okay? Once we realize that, then it increases our responsibility and personal investment.
Hey, Snooks. Welcome. Good to see you out there.
Hi, Snooks.
Moderate that lady.
So with all these things kind of stacked, then what we do is we desire to continually improve skills that are tied to your purpose. And some of us have to start at this level where we're like, well, taking care of our own health, taking care of our budget, taking care of these day-to-day things, having like a routine. Like that is truly steps in mastery to continue to improve skills that are tied to your purpose, because inevitably you would not be working on those if you didn't have this notion that you're entertaining about the fact that we all have purpose, even if we haven't articulated it to ourselves yet. If we're just playing in the curiosities and the passions, if we play there enough, we realize that there is a purpose for us out there. And that is not given to us. It is something that we create inside of us. I am really resistant to this idea, but there's such truth to it that having routine and having habits actually sets us free. It's not a constraint.
I can't disagree right now because I have the quality of life. Let's just put it that way. For me personally, by doing the things I'm doing on a schedule, feeding the cats, taking my meds, going to bed so I can get up to feed the cats, to clean up, all the things. It's a natural extension.
I tell you what, there are times when the only habit that I'm able to perform because of whatever is going on inside of my emotional state, inside of my mind, is taking my dog out to go potty when she asks 3 to 4 or 5 times a day. Kept me breathing. When I didn't want to.
Yep.
End of story. And the more that I can lean into that, I'm not a natural schedule person. Some people have to live by it. And I think that there's a fine line too. Don't let it box you in. But understanding that by, like when I have shit on my calendar, I'm not sitting here going, oh my God, what do I have to do tomorrow? I just look. I'm like, oh, I have it written in. It's there. It's there. Yeah. I don't have to think about it.
Same here. I started using my calendar. And
when something else comes up, I'm like, oh, just let me check my calendar. And it's like, if it's not scheduled, it doesn't exist. And I'm going to schedule something else on top of it. It happens. It happens. And I love my little calendar with all my little colors, and it's fine. It's fine. I want to graduate to time blocking where I'm like blocking out time instead of just like, I feel moved to work on my rock business, or I feel moved to do the voiceover stuff, or I feel moved to, this is something that's great. Every Monday, 6:30, I'm like, ooh, Velcro. Usually way earlier. Like I started thinking about it way earlier. So
yeah.
Let's see. Snook says, I just like to do certain days. So like certain things on certain days, Snooks? Is that what you're
So
implying?
on certain days you do certain chores, or just on certain days you do all the chores? Yes. She
Elaborate,
says.
Snooks.
I love it.
That is not
fucking love it. I love it.
elaboration.
I love it. That's
That is
so
not
beautiful. That's so
yes.
beautiful.
Just
Yes.
yes. Just yes. It's fine. Just yes. We're gonna go with just yes. Just yes from Snooks. I like to do certain days. I don't use a calendar. Just yes. Just yes
That's
to what you
awesome.
said. Just yes.
That's awesome.
All right.
I love it. I love it.
Live your best life. Okay, so what we're gonna come into.
Yeah, okay, there's the qualifying
Here it is. There we go. That's what we needed. Oh, I love this. Jimmy C, welcome to the chat.
Jimmy C, welcome in. What a great statement.
Ooh, with
And
a banger.
entered it well.
Entered it
Boom.
with a banger.
Yep.
So much easier to get up in the morning. So much easier to get up in the morning. And still yes.
Mm-hmm. It's easier to get up in the morning when you don't go to bed at 3 a.m. too, but that's not what we're talking about today.
Well, I mean, in a way it is.
That's been that was poking fun at myself, because that's part of what I've had to do, is not participate in all the karaoke shows that I want to go to that happen at dark 30 a.m. in the morning, and then I'm up until 2:30, 3, 4, whatever, and then I sleep until 9 or 10. And I'm happier for it.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
it is one of the reasons why I love Chad and his show, and it was a lot of fun, and it got me out of my bubble and out of my shell and into a space where I needed to be able to do
Everything
this.
happens for a reason.
But also, it was 3 hours, and it was too late, and it just was not working out on my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having so much
And that
fun.
gets-
I
that
didn't.
gets
I didn't,
difficult.
I did not want to be the one to shit in their Cheerios and be like, "Well, you got to change it to accommodate me." Instead, I was just like, "I'm gonna just do something that accommodates me a little bit better and challenges me a little bit more. Like having these conversations is a little bit more challenging for me. It was a lot more fun when I was drinking too."
See, I don't
just
hardly drink anymore, so that's not a thing. And
But sitting
getting
in that
stoned
show,
every day, does not equate to getting drunk every day.
it does not. It does
Absolutely
not.
does not.
I was definitely once a week just drinking.
Just
on that
drinking.
show
Yeah,
because-
you were the
'cause it was
social.
fun.
You were the social one.
It was fun.
Island party. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so I had made some changes, and then I was like, I really am having a hard time staying up this late when I'm not downing a pint of tequila. It's weird. It's weird. Listen, we all change. It's not for the better. It's not for the worse. It's just change. It's just different. It's just different. And please go watch Chad's show. They're a lot of fun over there.
Oh my God, it's a hoot.
As far as I'm concerned, I think I'm still being held hostage by Mickey Mouse, but that's fine. It's fine. All right, so we're building towards chapter 4, which is goals. And in this chapter, we talk about 3 different levels of goals. And you have the high hard goals, which is your long-term mission-aligned objectives. And it connects to your purpose or your massively transformative purpose. So that thing that maybe you don't think you can do. But here's the thing about high hard goals is high hard goals can be tied to your financial well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Don't overlook the capitalism that is baked in to the way that you want to change this world.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't let it devalue your value set. Okay?
Yeah.
So the example here is build a sustainable food business that feeds my community.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, those are movements, things like that. Small movements like that are happening in places all over the world. There are some amazing things coming from people that are doing small form gardening on top of urban buildings. Okay, we're not growing farmer soil stuff here, but these things work.
Yeah.
They work.
And the more that people say, you know what, I just want my herbs to be shipped less far, become zucchinis, become community gardens, become fresh vegetables in these what do they call it? Like grocery deserts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I live in the forest. I live, well, a relatively rural area. I don't know what it's like, but I hear that it's a real problem of not getting fresh produce in some of these densely populated areas. And it starts with somebody going, well, I just want to grow a little bit for myself. Well, I mean, I could maybe, because I don't have a lot of time, I can just be like, hey, a couple of people want to come in and help. Well, maybe this person who doesn't have access to food, if you've got a couple minutes a week, if you want to come in and you can pick whatever, and
Right.
it's these
It
great
just builds on
community-
itself.
It
Yes.
builds on it, and it starts with what? It starts with like a thought and a tiny notion that becomes like this. And pretty soon you've got like a model, right? And you've got this food model, and you're going, and maybe you have a 501c, and you're getting your fundraising for it. And we all know the best way to make money is to start a not-for-profit.
Right?
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Catholic Church. Wait, what?
What? That escalated quickly. Um, also, a good way for people to maintain a conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
Just ask how many secrets are hidden in the Catholic Church. I'm just
Plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
We digress.
Yes, we
okay,
do.
so your high hard goals. Remember that they can be they should be connected to your massively transformative purpose, but also how can these high hard goals that are connected to your massively transformative purpose make you money? How can they make you money?
Mm-hmm. Because if you can tie
Today's
your
show has been brought to you by. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, please contact Keri at keri.silman@gmail.com.
There you go. But yeah, I
saying.
mean that's completely legitimate. You know, if you look for the way to make money, capitalize within your thing, and we're not talking about taking advantage of people. We're talking about legitimate ways that you could do a service or do a thing or have something that somebody would want to purchase for your price.
Yeah.
Then you've tied the goal and the, what's the other thing? The goal and the driver and the, God damn it, things.
All the things that make you do the things.
Yes.
Continue to
To
do the
that
things.
financial part. So now you've tied all of it together. So yeah, if there's an opportunity, absolutely take advantage of it, or at least try. Maybe it's not your business. Maybe it's not your thing. All right. So you tried and failed. Are you worse off for it? Probably not.
Even if it means maybe not like a self-employed money-making thing, but getting a job that is aligned with your
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
Just getting a job. Getting a job that is aligned with your goals. My daughter said something so smart to me today. Well, not today. It was a couple days ago. But I came home complaining about my job. And it's not so much that I don't love cooking, it's that this job is kind of sucking the soul out of me. And it's fine, but it's also because this is not really where I'm over it. I'm like over the line cooking thing. I can do it. I can do it well. I've proven to myself that yes, because I was out of it for a little while, that yes, I can step into a kitchen. I can pick up the things. I can do the things. It's fine. It's fine. I don't have the same amount of rush and joy about just completing a service and doing it well anymore that I used to. Like that does not sustain me day to day. And my daughter says to me, she says, Mom, I think you should get out of working in kitchens because food is your love language. And when you're doing it because you have to, you don't love doing it as much. And I was like,
Yeah. She's 100% right. That's the reason I missed my job. I loved my job.
yeah.
I love helping people. I love doing the things that I did in the auto parts industry, using my knowledge to help someone else do something in a better way for less money or easier, or it lasts longer, or whatever the end result is. And I missed that in my life. I'm looking forward now to going back to work to be able to do the same thing again, because that'll fulfill another piece that's missing in me.
Yeah.
That I didn't think I would ever get.
There
back.
was a time when line cooking in a restaurant, in any position, was a way for me to express myself through my love language of food, right? But I've done so much expansion that it feels like it's stifling me now.
I
It
understand
feels like
that.
it's gagging me. It's no longer it's no longer a delivery system for my love into this world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just that job in particular, because I think I can go to other kitchens and I think I might feel the same source. Unless I found, like, one of these jobs I've applied for is a food delivery thing. They have like their whole, they have this whole health thing. For every meal sold, there's one donated. It's like, I mean, I'd love to see how
Cool.
that actually sounds great. Great marketing. I want to get in there and I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Hello,
see how they're
Camellia.
actually implementing that. Welcome, Camellia. I
Yeah,
would
you
love
need to
see how
find
they're
the next
implementing
step. That's a good
that.
thing.
I'm venturing into tomorrow. I am auditioning, not the right word, interviewing. Sort of like auditioning. I'm interviewing for a direct care job, working with
Nice.
developmentally disabled people. This one that I'm applying for specifically is somebody who's really interested in gems and the outdoors. I think you know, they would get along great with my little doggy. And Abby was like, that is something that I think you should do more of. Like, try to get a job like that where you are working with one person that you can have conversations with, you can make an impact on their lives, and then you can come home and you can cook me really good food, because that way you
Yeah.
can figure it out. I'm like, oh, I see.
Always the cook me really good food.
I see. You don't like me working in restaurants because when I come home, I'm like, do you want to order out?
Yep.
And then I'm like, just don't think about what they're doing in that kitchen. Just get the sandwich and go. Just get the sandwich and go, and just be glad that you don't have to do the dishes. It's fine.
Yep. 100%.
Well, we have had a really active chat, and I think I was on a little bit of a tear today. I feel like I did a lot of like lecturing, but I really enjoyed hearing about your progress and how you're making your way through this book. I want to encourage you to. There's a lot of this book left, and you don't have to complete each step to keep going. These hard goals, like keep working where you are. But allow this book to continue to expand, because you will
Just
find
listen ahead to.
there's future pieces that will help this piece again. So like the 3 levels of goals and why they matter. We start getting into like let me just pull up some of these chapter headings here. Please hold. Do 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 do. Don't know why my phone is taking so long. Okay, so like learning, we still have to go through the ingredients of impossible, growth mindsets, and truth filters, the return of investment on reading, the 5 not so easy steps for learning almost anything, the skill of skill, stronger, the 80-20 of emotional intelligence, the shortest path to Superman, the creative advantage, hacking creativity, long haul creativity, the flow of creativity.
Some of these are only a few minutes long, so don't freak out about oh my God, these things are, this must get, no. There's like the ingredients one is 3 minutes and 31 seconds of reading time for verbally reading.
Listening time, yeah.
Yeah,
we have part 5 flow, which is the decoder ring, flow science, flow triggers, the flow cycle, and all together now. All together now, I want you to know, he takes this entire book and boils it down to 15 minutes and 22 seconds.
Nice.
So, it has your step-by-step formula. So that's why I want you to keep going, because when we get to that last chapter, you'll be able to really solidify what it is that you're kind of percolating on now.
Okay.
And so we're going to keep moving through this. We've been kind of just getting our minds wrapped around this mindset of writing things down, of really entertaining these thought experiments in a very active pencil to paper sort of way. We've been following Richard's journey and how that just little bit of activity, that little bit of writing things down when it comes to this sort of practice. So yeah, you might write out your budget, but also writing down things that you want to see different in this world, things that you're curious about, and then dabbling in those things, seeing how they intersect, see how they can all kind of squish together and maybe create this little fun ball of a living experience for you.
I'm pretty excited about this whole process. I mean, I was never not excited about it, but it's more exciting as I go and as things change and I see differences, because I'm not usually hep on seeing differences in my day-to-day life. I just don't. It's just not my thing.
Expansion, I think, is like change. It feels overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can barely do what I'm doing now. How could I possibly do more? And it's not about doing more. It's about more being done.
Yeah, I don't feel like I work any harder, like I have any less energy, like I have any more aches and pains because of these other things I'm doing. One of the things I was worried about, and I know this is a little off, but one of the things I was worried about was I was going back to work, I have problems with my back, my hips, and things like that. Can I stand? Well, yeah, I can. I'll just figure out how to do it like I always have. I've always had these pains. It's not like I didn't do it before. The only thing I have to guard is that the work is not too heavy for my heart health. The rest of it, just like the rest of these things, will just happen. They'll come. My body will adjust. My things will be there.
Robbie says, being disabled, I can't work or play golf anymore. I was never good enough golfing to go on tour, even though I practiced constantly. However, I'm happy where I am in life. Robbie, you might not be a good enough musician to fill a stadium, but yet you change people's life with your music every day.
Every day.
And that is just shifting what it is that you're doing every day, that you practice consistently, that is helping to make you happy where you are in your life. You get to play some music, bang some gongs, feed some outside cats, and we all love you
change the
more
world.
for it. We all love you more for it. We are all reminded of what some consistent hard work and joy of just being present can bring to our lives because of Robbie. Go Beavers! Just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. Do not diminish the things that you do, because they are how many views? How many views, Robbie Stingle?
Yeah, you know that number. Put it in the chat, bro.
You're doing something. You're doing something. And so you don't diminish the I just. Just take it out. Take the I just out.
Yeah.
I play my music, bang my gongs, and I feed outdoor cats because it changes the world.
100%.
End of story.
See, I found somebody
End
to
of
help
story.
me gang up on you, asshole. Nah, 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 nah.
There will be no cyberbullying in my presence. 3 3/4 million views.
See,
3
he
3/4
won't
million.
take me seriously on that. He knows
I
me
know.
way better. Than
3 3/4. I wasn't being serious either. I'm kind of a cyberbully myself.
Yeah, 3 3/4 million.
Views.
In 2 years? 3 years. 3 years. 3 years on YouTube. And that's with nothing but shorts, really. Shorts and his original songs. That's it. There's no... And... Well, I think I got like 100 views on one of my videos last month. 100. I'm pretty happy about that.
I know. I'm pretty happy about that. Listen, I show up every week.
Yep.
I show up every week.
Well, and that's what I want to do too, is I want to show up every week, and because I think that's half the battle. That's just... It must be time to play the outro.
I think so. But we'll be back next week.
We will be back next week. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, everybody out in the chat who is listening, everybody who's just curious enough to swing by. Maybe they didn't say anything in the chat. Maybe they think we're crazy. Maybe they think we're full of shit. But I challenge you. I challenge you to pick up that pen and to write things down and to explore some things you're curious about. I'm curious about brains. I'm curious about people. That's my curiosity.
No voodoo dolls required.
You're curious about other people, other things, I'm sure. And change the world because you can. Because you can. You are not just here to point out the problems, folks. We are here to be a part of the problem and a part of the solution. Just like a little Velcro humor there. We are both the problem and
Nothing
the
wrong
solution.
with that.
Go out and change the world, folks.
Yep.
The night says hello.
Hello.
The soft glow.
And goodbye.
We took a ride on this
Be
talk
good, everybody.
show.
Use
if
your
you
blinkers.
don't, have fun.
Use your blinkers. Use your fucking blinkers. That's how you talk to people on the road.
Voices faded with the moon's call. Laughter echoed down the hall. Thoughts that flew like paper dolls. Wrap it up and let it fall. Turn the volume down low, my friends. This chatter's come to an end. Till we gather again and again. Let these moments extend. In the quiet, hear the clock tick tock. Word won't stop, but we'll walk the walk. Dream a little till the next talk. Out of time, let's unlock. Turn the volume down low, my friends. This chatter's come to an end. Till we gather again and again. Let these moments extend. In the quiet, hear the clock tick tock. Words won't stop, but we'll walk the walk. Dream a little till the next talk. Out of time, let's unlock. Turn the volume down low, my friends. This chatter's come to an end. Till we gather again and again. Let these moments extend. With open minds, now we drift on the book of fine. Page by page until we bind. Sweet goodbyes, let's unwind.